Thinking about buying a house here in Manhattan? Well, let's clear the air by debunking some of the most common myths about real estate. What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty. K-State grad, turned contractor, turned real estate agent and investor. As always, thank you so much for watching these videos. I truly appreciate it. Let's dive right in. Today we're going to cover 6 myths about the real estate industry in general, and then at the end of this video we're going to cover a myth about Manhattan that you need to know about. Myth number 1 is that you need 20% down on a house to buy it. That's not true. Just simply is not true. That's what everyone always thinks about, right? But I promise you, out of my 9-year career and 450 plus homes sold, I promise you that the 20% down column, there's very few sales that happen in this column, especially here in Manhattan. And this is what I have to tell you guys, is that there are programs out there for 0% down. No, you don't just have to be military personnel to get those as well. Now, there are programs out there for 3%, 3.5%, 5, 10, 15. There are all kinds of different options. I'll give you a perfect example. When I bought my second home, the one my wife and I live in now, the one we moved into, we've only put down 10%. We had the money for the 20% off the sale of our first home, but it actually was cheaper. The rates were better to actually buy the house with 10% down and then take that additional 10% money, put it into the house, update it, putting new kitchen in, putting new bathrooms in, whatever that looks like. My wife chose kitchen in case anyone's interested. Myth number 2, the perfect home awaits you. I promise you, it doesn't exist. Every home, I don't know how many times I've seen that, but every home I've ever bought, every home that I've ever looked at, I'm changing something. I don't care if it's paint color, if it's as little as paint color or doorknobs or cabinet pulls or anything that way, right? There is going to be something that you can change. Literally, again, I'm going to give you my own example. When my wife and I bought our house, she walked in. We looked at 3, by the way. Still amazed that that's how it happened, but it is what happened. We looked at 3 houses. She said, okay, I picked this one. I said, cool. Here's what I'm going to do. And I went, we're changing this, and this. We're still going through that list today. We're, 5, 6 years into it now? But that's the thing with it, right? That perfect home, while it may exist out there somewhere, somehow, I promise you're going to want to change something. And even if you don't want to change it today, eventually you're going to want to change it. You're going to get tired of that wall color. You're going to get tired of that trending, concrete countertops were a big trend a couple years ago. So you're going to want the granite or the quartz or something else that I haven't even thought about yet that may come out. So that perfect home, even though you want it to exist, doesn't necessarily always be there. So finding something that we can get you into and something that we can actually create and make that your own is one thing I would recommend. Myth number 3 is that overpricing your house nets you more money. Guys, I'm here to tell you, I have seen it more times than not. I've had this conversation so many times in my career that starting high and playing that lower game doesn't necessarily always net you more money. Because here's the thing, when you start here, day 1, you're in the market's here. Well, now you're starting to lower. Okay, and 2 weeks goes by, another 2 weeks goes by, we lower, another 2 weeks goes by, we lower, another 2 weeks. Now we're here, but what happens when we're here is that everyone's been watching this house for the last month and a half, 2 months, whatever that timeline has been for you, and now you're where you need to be. Well, now at this point, your house has that stigma of what's wrong with it. It's been on the market for 2 months. What's going on? In this market, it shouldn't happen. Trust me, I have those conversations with my buyers. Now, typically I talk them off the ledge like, hey, let's go look, let's go see what it is. Maybe it's nothing big, right? But now what happens is now they come in and they say, well, it's been on the market for 2 months. Let's offer lower. Let's offer lower. Right? And then we play that game and you're playing that weird spot, right? So in my opinion, there's 3 ways. You price it really high, potentially leave money on the table by playing the lower game. Market really low by potentially leaving more money on the table because you didn't market correctly. But market right in the middle where you're going to have those multiple offer scenarios. And instead of market value being here and getting here, now we get 2 offers, 3 offers, 4 offers, and your price potentially goes up. Not saying it happens all the time, but it does happen often. Myth number 4, renovations always increase your value. And I'm gonna get exactly what I put into it out of it. Again, guys, not gonna happen. Make sure when you are going to invest in your property, I actually just spoke with someone today about this. You are going to invest in your property. Make sure it is doing the right things, right? Now, there's a difference when you've got knob and tube wiring and you have to go and replace that for safety issues, right? There's a difference with that versus going in and doing a certain update just because you want it, right? Now, again, I'm a huge proponent for doing things because I want it. I put in a back patio in my backyard because I wanted it, right? I wanted to go have that patio, put a fire pit, do those things on there, not necessarily adding value. A dog run, that's a perfect one. I built a dog run in my house, and it's not necessarily going to add value. Does it make it kind of cool? Well, sure it does, because my kids aren't playing with the dog poop and things that come with that, right? But the thing with that is that every update doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get your money's worth out of it. So talk to your real estate professional. Again, hopefully it's me, but if it's not, talk to your real estate professional, see where your money is best spent, especially if you're looking at $5,000, $10,000 and where do you spend that money, right? Where do you put that into? Again, your house may not need a new bathroom, so don't update your bathroom, but maybe it needs a new coat of paint, or maybe it needs a new roof, or whatever that looks like, right? There's opportunity to make sure you use your money the best as possible to make sure we maximize your return. Myth number 5, probably my favorite one. All real estate agents are the same. All they do is open doors. There are a lot out there. I'm not going to lie to you about that, right? There are a lot of real estate agents out there that go out, they just open doors and say, well, this is a kitchen, this is a bathroom, this is a bedroom. No shit, right? We're not all that way. I promise you that. Having somebody that is a professional, someone who knows what they're doing. I promise you, I'm not the only real estate agent out there. There are some really good individuals that do an excellent job for their clients. They are truly, truly looking out for their clientele. And I recommend those people, right? I recommend finding somebody who's going to treat you professionally, someone who's going to look out for your best interest above their own, someone who actually knows what they're doing, whether it be in negotiations, whether it be in knowing what's behind the wall in the house, right? Like for me, when I go with my clients, I show them and I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I know because I've been in these kinds of walls. With a lath and plaster house, I know that you've probably got knob and tube behind that wall. You probably have no insulation behind that wall because that lath and plaster, they didn't insulate those walls when they did that. So knowing that you have somebody that understands the construction behind it, somebody that understands the process, and someone who understands where the price points need to be and things like that, that's who you need to be around. And do your interviews, right? One thing I always tell people is go interview your individual agents and go see who is the best option for you, because you may not get along with me, and that's totally fine. I want to help you, but if I can't and I'm not the right fit for you, then don't use me, right? But I promise you, finding that agent who you do connect with is going to be very, very important for you. The 6th one that I have before the bonus one is that renting is cheaper than buying. Sure, maybe up front, right? But here's the thing is that if you would have bought a house in 2019, even early 2020, right before COVID hit and right before the pandemic happened and interest rates dropped and prices skyrocketed, if you're renting then versus renting now, or bought a house then versus getting into the market now, well, you just put 20,000 or 20% equity into your purchase price, right? People's home prices skyrocketed when they actually bought in that time period. And I promise you it's going to happen again. Now, there are ebbs and flows with the real estate market. So there is that roller coaster effect with it all, right? So as long as you're not getting into something that, it's smart if you know your if you know where you're headed, right? If you know that you're going to be in this town for 1 year, don't buy a house unless you're buying something that you're going to put sweat equity into it. Now, if you're going to be here and you're going to rent for the next 4 or 5 plus years, you might think about buying a house, because our market's going to change so much in the next 4 years that you're not even going to recognize it. It just happened. What happened is that in 21, it skyrocketed, and people that bought in 2020 and 19 and anything before that, what they bought versus where they can sell today is massively different. But over time, if you're in it, like I've been in my personal house now for about 6 years, which is crazy to think about. But when I bought my house versus what I could sell it for today, if I would have been renting that whole time, I might as well throw my rent check or my money in the trash can, because that's all it's good for. You're not building that investment. You're not building that equity in a home. Now, when you rent, you don't have to deal with the HVAC or the plumbing or any of those potential issues that happen. But you're also not building that equity. So really think about that. My bonus myth for you is that prices are gonna drop. Here's the thing. Will they drop? Maybe. But here's the thing with that is that, again, I don't have a crystal ball, so don't tie me to this or quote me on this part of it, but I promise you this, Manhattan is a very insulated town. We are a very insulated area. We've got Fort Riley. We have Kansas State University. We now have MBAF that's bringing people in. We now have Scorpion Labs that are bringing people in. We have the industries that are bringing people in. Now, are we always going to sustain this type of sale price and everything that comes with that? Not necessarily. And again, back to that ebbs and flows, right? That roller coaster piece of this. There are going to be those opportunities that the market's going to lessen, or things are going to change, or things are going to happen, or the soldiers PCS, or whatever that looks like, or the Kansas State University goes under. Don't see that happening. There are always going to be those what ifs, right? But just pay attention to what you're looking at and pay attention to what that is, and just know when to get out, right? If you're watching the market and you watch it as much as I do, you know that when the market drops, when the rates drop right now, home prices are going to go up again, right? That's where we're trending. That's what's going to potentially happen. So there is an area, there is an opportunity that maybe they do go down. But what I want to talk to you about is that jumping in now, you're never going to enjoy. If you jump in now, you have the potential of enjoying that equity and all that stuff that happens. If you don't jump in, you're never going to enjoy that equity that you potentially gain. Remember, knowledge is key, right? Arming yourself with the right information and the right people, the right team of people around you is going to be very, very important for you moving forward, whether you're buying or selling. Right? There's a lot of opportunity within this market in Manhattan that you really are going to be able to enjoy the appreciation and things that come with that, right? So surround yourself with good, like-minded people. Surround yourself with a good team, whether it's a mortgage lender, a real estate agent, inspectors, whatever that looks like. Make sure you surround yourself with people that are like-minded and people that are there to help you grow and help you out with your purchase. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos. If you have anything that you'd like to add, please put it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, or reach out. You can always reach out to me at any time. And as always, if you have questions about buying, selling, investing, or anything real estate related, please reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. Or if you just want to say hi, my phone number is 785-5485. My email is kyle@homesforsalemhk.com. And as always, if you haven't done so already and you enjoy this content, please go and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content, and give us that like because it does help me grow that channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you later.